Hey Bethel Atlanta family, hey church family at large, believing believers. So good to connect with you. I guess it was this past Tuesday, we were in a Zoom call meeting with a few of our staff members at Bethel Atlanta, and at the end of the call we were just having a great time of prayer, and I saw this picture at the end of prayer. And basically what I saw was a stage, like you would have like a formal stage at a theater. And you know how on a stage the curtains can be closed and you can still have a part of the stage, like front stage, exposed, and someone can be on the front of the stage. So the curtains were closed and I saw impossibility at the front of the stage in front of the curtain, and impossibility was doing its act. And then the scene kind of zoomed out and I could see that God was behind the curtain. And he kind of looked over at me with this smirk and said, impossibility is just the opening act. I'm the main event, Vanessa. And I've been brewing on this quote that my husband Josh had told me a couple days or the day before about how impossibility is a prerequisite to a miracle. And it's so simple, but it was such a great truth reminder of we are never even in need of a miracle unless there's an impossibility present. And when impossibility is present, as believing believers, it's our great hope to hold on to, that the nature of God is that he always comes and a miracle is about to take place in the earth. And I could feel also his heart, just his compassion for those that are in the middle of impossibility right now and that have had real loss and have been just truly devastated and affected by this coronavirus. But I could just feel his nature in the middle of him also being compassionate, but also being strong and rising like this lion. And I could just feel this hope rising in the sense that even what the world has thought, like this has been a headline and news that has just been circulating over and over for weeks now. And this could very much look like one of the main acts, the main events, one of the main news circulations we've seen for a long time. And I just felt this sense of how much greater that God just said, no, I'm the main act. I'm showing up and I'm going to be the main story, the main headline. And we're really just praying into and believing that this disease is going to end abruptly and it's going to end suddenly. And I just, I had the thought of like, what if there was news circulations of we can't find a trace of this disease anywhere in the world. I feel that it can only point people back to Jesus, and I just feel like there's going to be, we've been singing and worshiping to the song The Harvest, one of the originals in our house by Zane Allen, and the harvest is coming and there won't be walls to contain it. I just have this thing stirring in me that if this thing ends abruptly and it can only be explained by the miraculous, there are going to be just a great revival. I feel like we're just poised for a great harvest, for healing revival, and then just a harvest of souls, of people turning to Jesus, people turning back to Jesus. So I was just super encouraged after this time of prayer with a few of our staff. And then later that day, I just felt this song pour out of me. And I've just been singing and brewing and stewing on it the last several days, and met with Zaina over a FaceTime call, and she helped me with a few of the melodies in the pre-chorus and bridge, and it's just been fun to worship to it together. But I want to just call all of us as a family, Bethel Atlanta family, us as a family, as a body of believers, as the body of Christ, to rise right now and believe God is going to be the main event, the main story at the end of this. He works all things together for good for those who love him. And it just really feels like this is the season to worship with the consequences in mind. We are worshiping and exalting his nature no matter what, and not to move him, not to get something from him just because he's worthy, but we have to, while we're worshiping, just believe that we know his nature's good and that he wants to move. He is a healing God. And so I just want to call all of us, Bethel Atlanta, if you're a part of Bethel Atlanta Church, you consider this your church home, let's circulate this song. Let's play it in our homes. Let's make it this the anthem for this season, and let's be believing while we're worshiping to it that it's more than just words. This is our decree that says, virus, your time has come. It's done. You will end abruptly. And share it with your friends that go here. Share it. Just spread it around, and let's just make this an anthem of this time that the end of the story, it's going to be his story glorified. And also just in your homes, I want to call you just in general, we believe that everyone at Bethel Anna are worship leaders. Let's be worship leaders in our own home right now, wherever we are, just stewarding his presence well, lifting his name high, putting the truth in front of us at all times. So this is kind of the song that just kind of came out of all that and the response to that. So I wanted to share it. And again, let's just all join in and keep singing it as we see this virus come to an end, and we see that the main story will be Jesus and he will be glorified. We are the sons of day and daughters of light. We arise and shine. We know impossibilities bow at your feet, displaying nature divine. And all things that slumber will come awake as the power of Jesus is on display. Our miracle King is now taking the stage. Disease, you're evicted, you've had your last day. This ends in spoils of blessing and spoils of healing. As children of heaven, we sing over all who are weeping that we believe the main story will be God's story. He will take it all and turn it for glory. Disease is not from you and death is not of you. Devil, get ready to pay. Fear made a move on God's children, but now it owes him, and the interest rate is great. The headlines will read this way, that heaven's still robbing all graves. Graves, graves. Heaven's still robbing all graves. Graves, graves. Heaven's still robbing all graves. We see you moving with compassion like a lamb. defeated the grave. Jesus defeated the grave. And heaven still robbing all graves. Heaven still robbing all graves. He's the name that still breaks all the chains. Speak it and break all the chains. Jesus, come have your way. Jesus, come have your way. To the lost, the weary,